Welcome. Am I going green? No, I don't think so. It's always good to think about it and not pollute where you don't have to. But to go full green is far too expensive and completely out of the question at the moment. But leaning towards that way, I think, is a good idea. I think that a lot of things are affecting people's health that's not getting the news it should do. For instance, air quality affects thousands of people and kills thousands of people a year, which isn't very widely advertised. And of course, air moves, so when there's pollution, it will move to somewhere else, and it affects the whole planet. Also, I came across a story very hidden away, where these power lines went through a town, and all through the edges of these power lines, people were getting cancers. It was like a cluster of all this cancer that people were getting. And the story kind of was suppressed or not made widely available. And I think the same goes for air quality. They don't actually advertise it very much. They come on the news and say about the pollen count and the air quality sometimes, but I'm not too sure whether that's kosher or not. Now I'm going to tell you a true story, and yeah, it's about me. It's all about me. Anyway, I got a job up in Dryden, Canada. Now, if anybody knows where Dryden, Canada is, it's way up northish, not too far, but quite a way up northish in Ontario, the province of Ontario. And I worked in a small town, maybe I think 2,000, 3,000 people or something, maybe a bit more. And there was only one factory in the whole town, and it was the whole town. It was a massive factory, and it was a paper mill that had been there for years. In fact, that's the reason for the town, was the paper mill. And there was steam and whatever coming out of these chimneys every now and then. And sometimes there was this smell that affected the whole town. It was kind of almost gaggy sort of smell, and it was all in the air. And they had a name for it. It was kind of the waste from the paper mill, but it was quite strong and stayed around for hours and hours. And then when it cleared, I used to have to go down into some people's basements to do some work. And when I went down into the basement, that smell was still there. It had gone down into the basement and was lingering in people's basements. I never really got used to it. But after I'd been there a while in Dryden, I noticed that there was a lot of people were dying of lung cancer. This wasn't a very big town, but it had a lot of cases of lung cancer. People talked about it everywhere. Nobody ever said that it was the paper mill smell that was causing the cancers. But I think that's a good possibility. But nothing was done about it because the paper mill was the whole town. If the paper mill shut down, so would the town. In fact, it worried me so much that I got a place to live 5 miles out of town to get away from that smell, because I thought it was dangerous. What we really need, us people, is an air quality electronic piece of device that we can test the air quality ourselves. And I mean buy one from a reputable place, not one that was made by the government. And then we can test the area ourselves. Or maybe walk around with a colour sort of badge on when it changes colour when the air quality goes bad. And it amazes me that most people just believe the government when they say everything's all right. And don't get me started on cow flatulence, because that is disgusting and also very, very dangerous, as we know. Take it easy. Big Mac and fries, please.